put on a show, take one of your fighters who has 20 professional fights and put him in and submit the contest, an 8-round fight to the commission against a guy who's had 0 fights. They will never accept that fight. Mm-hmm. So how are you accepting this fight? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it's ridiculous insanity that this is allowed to go on like this, and that boxing has been reduced to this. And you wonder why media or the John Q public laugh at boxing and say what a joke it is. We're making it a joke. You know, there are our own people inside the sport, the heavyweight champion of the world, the athletic commissions, the governing bodies are making it a joke. Mm-hmm. And then on the other hand, you have Better B. Evan Smith going at it the first opportunity they had to make that fight, they make it happen. Make it happen. There was no problem. They make it happen. You want to make it happen, you'll make it happen.
Appreciate your thorough answer there. Whilst there is a fire lit under you, I'd like to move on to something that is also disappointing right now, that being the situation regarding Dillian Whyte, who's tested positive for performance-enhancing substances. I just wonder what your thoughts were when you read that news about Dillian, who's now looking to clear his name if he can.
I love Derek Chisora. Huh? You got to love Derek Chisora and what he said. I have my thoughts on Dillian. You know what happened in the Rivas fight. We know that he tested positive in the Rivas fight and was still awarded the decision, and the decision was not reversed, and he was continued to carry along, no problem. And we still haven't seen a B sample from that. So I don't care. I'm done with his bullshit. If people can't recognize what he has done already and what he is, then you don't know anything about boxing. And I think that in general, not Dillian, in general, boxing has to take a stand now. This is where we're starting to get to the point of no return on how we want to deal with drug cheats. Mm-hmm. And I find it, like I said earlier, when I joked to you about how training camp is, everybody says they have a great training camp. Everybody who has tested positive always has said, I don't remember. It wasn't me. I didn't know. No, how could I know? I didn't know. I'm sick of it. And boxing is going to have to take a stand, because what's going to happen is that it's going to continue to happen without consequence. Promoters are going to continue to use fighters who have tested positive. Athletic commissions are going to allow fighters to continue boxing. Sanctioning bodies are not suspending these guys or taking them out, or if they do, it's for 3 months, 6 months, a ridiculous amount of time, laughable. And they're going to continue to do this. And when you try to impose something more severe and more strict, everyone's going to look at the precedents that happened before and say, no, you gave this guy this much, this guy there. How come you're giving me more? Why am I the scapegoat for the world? And I feel that that's where boxing is going now. I think a clear set of guidelines has to be drawn up, in which all athletic commissions will respect, in which the governing bodies will respect. Think about this, Ayman. If you don't subscribe to and I'll use this as an example, the WBC Clean Boxing Program, if you don't subscribe to that, they will remove you from their rankings, correct? Hmm. But if you subscribe to the program and test positive, they still keep you in the rankings until something is dealt out, until there's a suspension, until something happens. They'll still keep you in the rankings. So you're not in the rank. They'll drop you from the rankings if you haven't tested positive, but you don't subscribe to the program, but you stay in the rankings if you pop positive. Mm-hmm. And you're enrolled in the program. So I think we have to change how we look at this. And it's all about the money, all about the money. No one wants to make the commitment to change this and to say, that's it, you're banned. Maybe, what could eventually happen, like Derek Chisora talked about the 10-year ban. Yeah. It could happen that an innocent fighter will get that. It could happen. That could happen. So do we sacrifice the one guy that might slip through, and is unable to prove his innocence for all the others that do get caught, and you say out, 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 and send that message to everybody that it's not going to be tolerated anymore. But right now, We've tolerated it with Fury, Dillian Whyte, Canelo. The list goes on and on of people who have tested positive and are still at the top of the game and still fighting for belts and championships and millions of dollars. Something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Focusing on what's left, that was Anthony Joshua left scrambling to find, or his team to find an opponent. They've settled on Robert Helenius. Yeah. Not really the best kind of setup for a potential Deontay Wilder fight if it's going to happen in December or January, right?
Well, it's not a question of a setup. I mean, that's not the point. It's for an 8-round fighter. It's never good to change opponents the week before the fight. You know, like that's not healthy. And if you remember, there's going to be flashbacks to Joshua. You know, the last time there was an opponent switch when Jarrell Miller failed his drug test, and then he was replaced with Andy Ruiz. And you know that, I mean, you went from two diametrically opposed style of fighters, you know, and look what happened. But I think for Matchroom, for Eddie, for the public, for the event, for British boxing, you go from a local matchup between Dillian and Anthony Joshua, which has some meat to it, which has an interest in Britain, you know, and it's a great fight to make, to this, it's a letdown, because what is it's a no-win situation for poor Anthony Joshua. If he doesn't blast Helenius out or completely dominate him in a brutal fashion, they're going to say, well, he looked terrible. There's no way he ends up looking good in this unless it's complete destruction. And that's a lot of pressure for the guy that he shouldn't have to be put under while he was preparing mentally to face Dillian Whyte and ready to go to war with Dillian Whyte. So I think it's just what Dillian has done, you know, hurts all of British boxing, world boxing, hurts the promotion, hurts the fan base. It's just bad. And, you know, it's put Joshua under pressure. It's put his team under pressure. It's forced Matchroom to reevaluate how they're going to promote the fight, how they're going to do this, you know, to try to sell this to the media, make it credible. It just makes it so bloody hard for everybody to do what they want to do after you're coming off. You know, you're getting a sizzling steak, boy. You're getting a big juicy steak, and now you get a slice of ham. You know, like it's not exactly what you were looking for. You know.